Hello, welcome to the Windbreakers podcast. I'm Yahtzee Crowshaw, and I'm joined by the rest of the Open Necked crew, Jay and Marty.
ONC.
Pick them next.
Hopefully less breathy, Marty. What was that all about last week, Marty?
I have
complained
asthma.
about it.
I have asthma.
Me too.
People were extremely rude. I understood. My mic has had problems for a long time. However, I've received a large magical box in the mail that should be able to fix my problems once I get an additional auxiliary cord. So the next time you hear my voice after this podcast, it's going to be so smooth, you guys aren't going to know what's going on.
The smoothest.
And as I said before, the call, just from the way you hold it up, I have no idea if it's an audio device or some kind of inhalant.
That's the reason I have asthma is I keep taking big fat rips out of my cloud lifters. A cloud lifter is a funny name for a.
I know it would be a great word for a vape device, but it's a weird word for what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, we were thinking that what with Pokemon Pokopia and Mewgenics being recent releases, and with everyone needing a lot of comfort these days with the global conflict and all, we thought we could talk about the games that help us to zone out and generally forget our higher brain functions and the horrors of the world. And I think we've all talked about this kind of thing at various times. The games we play just in our spare time while we listen to podcasts, just to have something to do with our hands. What is it that makes a game good for that kind of thing?
Yeah, a real good second screener. If you will.
As is the term. I used to just call them podcast games, but now I guess second screen is the accepted term.
Yeah, I don't know. Did these exist when we were younger?
Well, they've come about because technology has advanced to the point that we can have multiple devices playing at the same time, and or have multiple monitors set up. I want to say, when I was a kid, I used to have in my bedroom, I had a gaming PC and I had a TV separately, and I used to just put on BBC One during the day and let fucking daytime television play while I was playing Mario on emulators and stuff.
You were second screening back then.
I know, but I wasn't looking at the second screen because it was behind me. I was just listening to Neighbours and Diagnosis Murder and Columbo.
Yeah, it feels like as a kid, I do remember once I got a Game Boy Pocket with Pokemon, I would play that less while I would be second screening and more I guess I could pretend to be social, so I'll sit in the living room during family gatherings or something and be present while I'm actually just zoning out to Pokemon. Yeah. So for me, the Game Boy was the first thing, and almost every game on the Game Boy felt like it could be a zone out game just because by virtue of the design on those handhelds, they felt like kind of smaller things that were able to be played in bite-sized chunks that you didn't need to devote 100% of your brains towards.
Yeah. But of course, that is a very subjective thing, because the one thing that makes something mindless is being very, very familiar with it. And if you've just played a game a lot, then it becomes mindless to play it. One of my favorite second screen games, if I just want to listen to the latest Rest is History or whatever, is just Quake 1. I'll just put on Quake 1, which I've played 100 times, and there's just something very comforting about that horrible, spooky atmosphere. Yeah. I think this isn't mentioned much about Quake 1, but it's really startling, the yawning gulf between it and Doom, specifically in the area of sound design. Because Doom is king of the stock sound effect. It ripped all its sounds from a CD library. And that's why you keep hearing Doom sound effects in the wild, like the alien door closing sound effect. And the noise they used for half the monsters was just camel grunts, which show up in a lot of other games. But Quake is
literally the animal, like a camel grunt,
yeah, just the sound of a camel. But
You'd be surprised how many sound effects in Adventurers and I are just animal grunts mixed together.
But Quake, every sound effect that the monsters make is unique and made only for that game. I guess they got their money's worth getting Trent Reznor in, because he does really good ambient sound as well. Yeah. And I think it's part of the fact that it has a very simple approach to the sound design, is that there's very unique sounds, but each monster only has one for each situation. It's got one sound for waking up, one sound for roaming, and one sound for attacking, and one sound for dying. It does become very comfortable to listen to, in contrast to something that might have very textured sound palettes.
It's interesting that you start off mentioning sound, because one of the notes I made for the zone out games that resonate with me is that for me, I need to be able to play them without sound. Almost all the time when I'm playing a zone out game, I'm listening to something else, and the game is either silent or the game is at a very low volume.
I do that too, but I do have to have the game on like half volume because I don't get like the catharsis without the sound sort of delivering it, you know? I got to at least be able to hear a gunshot. I just don't want to drowning out what I'm
mute games when they play them, regardless of its second screen. I think are psychopaths. And
oh my god, I do that all the time.
Having
said that, I do mute YouTube playables when I'm playing them while listening to something else, because I don't need them sort of generic plink plonks or whatever they've got. Because those are like hard designed from the ground up to be just something you do with your hands. I don't need a thing in my hands to make noise unless I'm popping bubble wrap, bitch.
Yeah, like same thing. Like a lot of mobile games. Like if you have like a zone out puzzle game or something on your phone, like usually most of those games I didn't even like when I was playing like Marvel Snap or whatever. I'd never had the sound on. I didn't know like what the music or sound effects in that game even sounded like, which might be rude to the people who made those things, but yeah. I don't know. Jay, if you come from a sound back, I mean, you think playing games without sound is you should go to jail? Jay?
So like I can understand if people want to mute the music or turn the volume down. But like how Yahtzee is describing it, or as like you kind of need a base level of the interaction sound effects to add that catharsis to gameplay. I feel like, for me, that's a necessity, and maybe that's because it's my background and like it's the main thing I do. But like I was playing Path of Exile 2 with a friend, and his parents were playing it. They like play games together. They're retired and they just play games, and they were playing Path of Exile 2. And my friend said, "Oh, my mum plays with the game muted, because she says that all of the sounds happening all at once like overwhelm her. So she just plays muted." And I tried to imagine playing like that, and it hurt my brain. But like I get it, right? I understand why you would feel the need to do that. But I can't comprehend not having audio feedback for what I'm interacting with.
Yeah.
It helps you know what it's like to be deaf, I suppose. Perhaps you could have some sympathy.
It's an empathy machine.
Yeah. Hey, quick shout out. Everyone who is currently playing a game while listening to this, you have to post a chat now, or even like donate $1 because I said it.
I always
called you out.
I always wonder what percentage of our audience, like this can't be fun to. I mean, Eric makes it fun to watch by putting goofy B-roll sometimes, but like I can't imagine a podcast is fun to watch, right?
Well, it's fun to watch if you like open necks on your shirts. Yeah, look at the exposed chest hair just creeping in there.
Ooh,
that's how we get those. That's how we hit that dono at the top. That's how we doke all day. Show a little bit of chest to doke all day.
Sadly, I don't have vertical stripes on my shirt. Well, I did used to have like a shirt with vertical dark grey stripes as well as black. But remember that time I showed up to work for a while with this massive shiner on the side of my face? Well, in the incident where that happened, I also ripped up my shirt on the floor and had to throw it away.
So what it was, April's funding goal will be get Yahtzee a short sleeve button up with vertical stripes.
It was a catastrophic fall. Like usually if you trip, you sort of correct yourself before you hit the ground, but I happened to be holding a plate and my brain just sort of short-circuited. Like, how do I protect the plate and also myself and also not hit the ground? Like,
how did the plate?
Did you protect the plate? Did you do both? Did you sacrifice?
No, the plate shattered beneath my mass.
That's what's got to be like if you're Superman every day to be like, I need to. There's 10,000 people who need my help in the city right now. Oh my God, who do I help?
Oh God, prioritize. Oh
how
God,
how do I save all these people and not smash this plate?
Oh God, I killed that guy. Oh God,
the plate.
But at least the plate's fine.
At least the plate's fine. Yeah. For me, another core tenet of the Zone Out games, almost always for me, on a handheld device, whether that's Switch, whether that's Steam Deck, whether that's my phone, whether it's a portable emulator, because usually when I'm zoning out, the other thing I am engaging in is on a television, whether that's like rewatching something or sports in the background.
Well, I dual monitor it up, and if I'm like playing a game and watching something on the same PC, that makes it much easier to alt tab out and switch to a different thing to listen to. If I start disliking the thing I'm listening to for whatever reason, or it stops.
Sure. How about when you've been you've become like a recent convert to the joys of evening Steam Decking? Like what situation do you find yourself playing like a Hades 2 on your Steam Deck? Like, are you in your office? Are you around your family? Are you watching something else?
Well, usually the family's in bed, or the family's in the other room, having been scolded to stop staring over people's shoulders at screens. Go outside, get some air, you little creep. So usually I'm just sort of lying on the couch with my Steam Deck propped up on 2 pillows, so I don't have to hold it up with my noodly wrists. And I've got my laptop like set up on my left with just a single earbud in, and I'm listening to, I don't know, like LBC or something.
Lyndon Baines Conson. So you got the laptop and you got your Steam Deck. Interesting. So both things are portable, both devices capable of second screening, and you are you have both.
I mean, some people might say game on the laptop, but I don't really like laptop gaming because it heats up the laptop too much, and you can't really put it on your lap when it heats up. You're supposed to like put it on a flat surface to make it cool properly.
Oh, dude.
And I always, when I'm in like in the middle of like intensive gaming, I worry about fat fingering too many keys. With the tiny little laptop keyboards they have.
Squishy buttons. I have fond memories of going to my friend's house on the weekends when I was a teenager with my laptop to play games and like World of Warcraft. And it was like a competition to see who could keep their laptop on their lap the longest. I mean, probably getting testicular cancer through that shit, but we would get like heat like marks on our legs from the vents, like blasting into our legs, and we'd have like red like lines shaped like the vent in our legs. It was dumb, but
all the spermies
fond
are
memories.
Just boiling.
I used to assume if you had your laptop upon a cushion or something, it would cool faster because that's how Queenslander houses work. But no, you got to put it on a flat surface for the cooling to like go back up into the computer. Apparently,
yeah. Look at that, fans. I also think a good zone out game needs to be one that can be paused or suspended at a moment's notice. Because when I'm zoning out, I also want to be able to engage with anyone else or engage with something else right away. So that's why Souls games kind of don't work for me by virtue.
I know
of
that's the annoying thing about Mewgenics, or that I've been playing on my Steam Deck a lot lately, is that it pulls a Mr. Rossetti. If you turn off your Steam Deck while you're in the middle of a fight, just thinking that I'll just assume it's saved at the start and do the actual fight later, then the game assumes you're trying to pull a fast one, and the next time you start it up, the game goes, "Hey, you quit in the middle of a fight. That's not on. Or always quit to menu, you bastard."
Yeah.
Is there any mechanical or narrative or any reason that you couldn't just pause and suspend a fight? Like,
well, you could just, put the. I wouldn't have thought so, but it's not so bad. You can just put the Steam Deck into standby mode without necessarily turning the whole thing off. But even from a design,
like, why does I get like Animal Crossing runs on like a real world clock, right? Dark Souls theoretically is the whole thing is like if you go into your menu, it doesn't stop. Like danger is around every corner, or if something's always online, it's always online, and so the world doesn't stop around you. But like what in Mewgenics,
nothing. It's turn based. It's completely
Mr. Rossetti is a funny joke. That's probably the crux of it, right?
Mr. Rossetti.
For me, a good example of it is I've been playing a lot of card games recently through, say, the Spire 2 and Hearthstone and stuff like that, and especially Hearthstone. And within that, you are playing against another real player, and you have a certain amount of time before your turn is over. It's called roping. Like when you get towards the end of your turn, a rope will appear and it will burn down. And if it reaches the end, your next turn will start with the rope being there immediately. It's like hurry up because you're wasting the other player's time. And I really enjoy Hearthstone, but that idea of, oh shit, I've got to like take my turn, not only because I have a limited amount of time, but also I'm making the other player wait. There's like this pressure, and I did play Hearthstone a lot on second screen, but that pressure isn't very nice. But a game like Once Upon a Galaxy, which we've done streams with on here, it's a card game where they have asynchronous matches where you're technically playing ghosts of builds of other players. So you can be in a match and just like put your phone down on your turn and just like watch TV, do something for an hour, come back, and you're at the exact same point again in the match, playing the exact same people because you're playing their ghosts. And like that's what makes it so much better at being a second screen game, in my opinion, because it has that asynchronous element to it. And I think more games should try and adopt that, like multiplayer games that you're technically playing single player, if that makes sense.
That if you have to take an hour-long break, you're not kind of making someone else wait, right? You're not ruining their time.
Well, that's never been my concern as a non-multiplayer playing person.
Yeah.
That's the secret. It also feels to me like I can't second screen and learn new mechanics at the same time. If I'm second screening something, I need to have already had the mechanics established and like ingrained in me. Part of that is either a familiar genre or a familiar game.
Yeah, so if you want a game to have inherent second screen appeal, rather than just the second screen appeal that comes from the player just being very familiar with it, as we are with Quake and Dark Souls and stuff, then you have to replace that sense of familiarity with just a sense of either repetition or being very easy to understand.
Yep.
And that's probably why Hades works for me, and roguelikes in general work for me quite well as second screen games. I got into Mewgenics because, so many cats have died under my watch. I am a bad cat keeper, but
in the video game,
how many? Wait, in the game or in real life?
In the game, yeah.
Okay. Whew.
Yeah, they just. I don't think I'm very good at long-term strategy, but they just. Sure. So many of them have died. A lot of the time, you just get cursed runs as well, where everything just goes to shit from the beginning. But it means that I no longer sort of dwell on them as characters. They just say, "Yeah, next 4. Reasonable stats, okay, out you go."
Yeah.
And the fights sort of each run is different, of course, but the fights always work by the same rules. The monsters you get familiar with, and it's repetitive. It's easy to understand. But aside from that, you do have to bang your head against repetitive gameplay quite a lot. But eventually things change, and whole new areas open up. And you get new abilities you never even knew about. And so the game's always like dropping surprises on you after long-term play when you think it's got nothing left to throw at you.
Do you notice a game like that weaves in and out of being good, a good second screen zone out experience? Because that's what I've noticed. Pokopia, Pokemon Pokopia is the game I put like fucking 30 hours into this weekend, but
it's on my list.
Amount of time.
I'm gonna play it right after this, as it happens.
I'm very excited to hear that. We're gonna visit each other's dream islands and pillage each other's things. But the game will when I reach a new area, when a story beat happens, when it kind of gives me a new ability, I stop second screening it. I'm almost like, oh, this is something I want to pay attention to. So I'll even like dock my Switch for those. But then when it's like, oh no, this is just doing my daily chores. I'm gathering a bunch of materials. I want to terraform this area. I want to check in on all my little critters and see how they're doing. Like those are the zone out moments. But if it's like, oh, a cool story beat is actually happening, which Pokopia has surprisingly neat story beats, that I want to kind of focus on. And I feel that a lot of games I'll do that with. Like in a JRPG, if I'm in a grinding area, that is where I can second screen. But if story stuff starts to happen, or I'm in like an interesting dungeon with fun puzzles, I kind of want to focus on that, and I no longer want to zone out to it.
I didn't agree with you to begin with when you said, "Oh yeah, I need to concentrate." I stopped second screening. I was like, "Oh, that's interesting," but then I realized that I've done that. Like when I was playing Final Fantasy 14. And I'm just like leveling up and I'm going through dungeons that I've done before. I second screen it and I'll watch something while I'm doing it. But as soon as I get to a new dungeon that I've never done, I literally like full screen the game.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I've got
to turn off any other sound you have. You're like, I want to hear what the music's like. I want to like fully feel this zone. So and then if I'm familiar with it, it can second screen again.
Yeah, I'll alt tab out and pause if like a major cutscene happens, whatever I'm playing. And I think that's an important part of it, because I think second screening is all very well, but I want to have like a long-term motivation to be playing this game. I can't just do the same repetitive thing over and over again. I think Stardew Valley does this very well as well. That's one of the main things I took inspiration from when I was making Starstruck Vagabond. It's about sort of long cycles of repetitive busy work that you do largely because in the end, eventually, something interesting will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mix of years ago. I think it was like 4 years ago. I made a video on Stardew Valley on my personal channel before I came to The Escapist. And it's like a mixture of long-term and short-term goals. And like you have that long-term goal, which might be in a completely different season.
Yes, tertiary, quaternary, and quinternary
gameplay
loops, or whatever the fuck they are.
Eric, that is the video. You're so quick, dude. You're a wizard. But yeah, it's this balance, because the short-term goals allow you to give you motivation to get through the day, and they're the things that keep you engaged in the moment. But the long-term goals are the ones that give you the reason to keep playing, right? Oh, I've got to water my crops and plant new seeds. That's your short-term goals, but you have to have a reason to want to do that. And that's the long-term goal of, I want to sell all of these once they've all grown so I can work on this relationship or this part of the farm. And like a lot of second screen games have that balance of short and long-term goals. Like Hades 2 is a great example of, oh yeah, I'm working through this run, but why are you working through this run? Because you want to, get to Tython or whatever.
I think having the cycle thing, another thing I took influence from, the fact that the work cycle sort of very naturally flows into the next work cycle. Stardew Valley, the Alters, games like that, the Persona have the go to bed to save the game thing, which is very savvy design. This plays it off very well, because when you're playing a game like that, you go you do your work, you go to bed, then you think, oh, maybe that'll be enough for me. But then next thing that happens, you wake up, there's tasks on your checklist. It's a new day, and your brain goes, and suddenly it feels like a lurch to stop playing right then. It's like, yeah, I could just do a couple of things.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, another day has passed.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think roguelikes like Hades do a similar thing. Mm-hmm. Like you finish a run in Hades, you go back to your home base, then you're like, good time to just check in with everyone, have a little chat, see if I can buy anything. And by the time you've done that, a sort of momentum has started building up, and it sort of carries you through to, I'll just do another run. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, every bite is small enough to where you can always say, I can handle one more bite. I can handle one more bite.
There's one very specific gameplay tweak I made in Starstruck Vagabond in response to that observation that each job should sort of flow into the next, is that when you complete a delivery job in Starstruck Vagabond, you immediately get called up and said, hey, while you're there, could you pick up another shipment and take it to the next planet? And if you say yes, it'll just automatically drop right there, and you can stick it. Because previously you'd have to go back onto your ship and call up the authorities and say, hey, I'm ready for another job, and they'd give you the details, and you might even have to go to another planet to do it. But I decided if you finish the job and then immediately start another one, that's how you keep the cycle going.
100%. It's these like micro interruptions of those short-term goals are really, really powerful, because you might have your trucking route set out in Starstruck, or like your farming plans for the day, or what you want to do in that day already set out, and then there'll be this small interruption, be that an NPC coming in and altering what your plans were that day, or like a combat interruption. These tiny things that like break your flow of your plans, so that you're interrupted, half your day is taken up taking care of this thing, which means your previous day's short-term goals get pushed to the next, and then you're just like snowballing into more and more gameplay, and that next day kind of syndrome. It's really
100% Pokopia for me. That is absolutely what's happening. It just keeps adding things to my plate, and not in a bad way.
Sorry, Eric, why do you keep bringing up RE9? Just
because it's a great spooky game.
I think Eric might just be playing it. And
Eric has finished. I think I said this last week. Eric has finished RE9 3 times already, including on Insanity.
What?
He is playing it. I think he is.
I mean,
he's actually playing.
I mean, he is going to be editing an RE9 video essay of mine that I'm recording later today.
Okay.
So maybe he's just getting into video editing.
You just need to play it 3 fucking times to do that, though, and be playing it while we're doing the podcast.
I mean,
Eric, if you're playing, shake the camera.
I mean, is he hoping the second half of the game will get better with practice?
Okay.
Listen, I think what Eric's saying right now is, guys, you aren't saying anything interesting enough for me to alt up. No, he's second screening. That's what he's doing.
Oh my god, he's second screening. It's meta.
Screening. My God, Eric.
Nice.
That's actually really good.
We have all been told.
The 2 games from last year, I second screened quite a bit at certain moments. Blueprints and Silksong. Silksong would be specifically if I'm just kind of fucking around an area I've already been in, kind of like, grinding resources, or if I'm bashing my head against a boss. And I have vivid memories of certain bosses I was able to finally beat while I was just watching a football game. And so I'll always have memories. I'll always associate that boss watching a Bears game, which it's just a weird link. Like, they have nothing to do with each other other than I was focused on both of them equally when I finally beat the boss.
I'm going through my list of games.
Tell you what I think is the all-time king of second screening, Minecraft. Yeah. And I almost think that game is designed to be second screen because the sound design is so subtle, but so noticeable. Like, if you hear the sound of a creeper or a zombie, you instantly know what it is, but it's not a very loud sound. Mm-hmm. Just like,
yeah, you don't play Minecraft on like a low volume. Like, it's one that you
don't have to.
It slightly higher. Yeah,
it's got mild music. The loudest thing that could happen is an explosion, and like most of those, you set off yourself because you're a dumb twat.
Now imagine instead of zombies that there was a Genghis Khan coming after you, or a Pidgeot. Yeah. Now imagine that. That's Pokopia right there, my friend.
No, I used to love just listening to something or watching something in the other window while just working on a project in Minecraft. Like, I didn't go in for the actual, the game, the story, beat the Ender Dragon, any of that. I just have a project. Like, I want to build an underwater city, or a sky city, or like a skull fortress in the side of a mountain. I just work on that, and it was fun.
Again, like, that comes down to short-term, long-term goals, right? The underwater city is your long-term, and the short-term is, I need to go get it depends if you're playing in creative mode. I need to go get more mode. Cobblestone, or
only my construction only feels like a proper achievement in survival mode.
Mm-hmm. Good man.
Yeah, I don't know. There is something just.
I try to explain that to my kid, but no, she's always, no, I want to play creative mode and just make houses out of lacquered glass or whatever.
Don't your kids like? Oh my god, get your kids on that Pokopia.
Oh, I'm gonna buy it after this. You've sold me.
I've sold 2 of my normie friends bought a Switch 2 because of this game. Like, they do not play a ton of games.
It is like the highest rated Pokemon game of all time, right?
I think it's gonna be the best selling game of the year, honestly. It's legit.
Well, fuck Crimson Desert. I'm gonna Pokopia.
Hey, embargo, motherfucker.
Oh,
you didn't say anything. He just said fuck the game that's coming out in 2 weeks.
I haven't played it.
Okay.
It's also called Crimson Desert.
Well, we have a review copy, and if you had played it and you said fuck Crimson Desert, that would have been a review, and that would have broken embargo.
I haven't played it.
Okay, good.
So, there we go.
Friendship with Crimson Desert over Pokemon Pokopia is new best friend.
There you go.
Do you think, but kind of my last prompt to throw out, is there anything bad about this? Like, is this ultimately a bad thing that we are constantly splitting our attention? Is there any drawback to that? Is there any?
Well, I know you've said to me in the past that you have a theory that a lot of things are designed assuming everyone will be looking at their phone, so everything has to be explained every 5 minutes.
Netflix specifically, the way scripts are designed.
Yeah, and I agree that could be. There's a part of me that gets a little shiver when I hear that Netflix shows are being made specifically with that sort of thing. It's like they're going to turn everything into newspaper comics that has to recap the plot in every single day. So, oh my god, Dr. Octopus is fighting me. Oh my god, Dr. Octopus is still fighting me. Yeah, why do you keep saying that? Jesus Christ, let's just have a fight.
A 20-minute episode of Dragon Ball Z was like 7 minutes of recapping what happened last time. You're like, what is this? Did I need this? This was literally last week.
But I think it's good that people don't just like. I mean, we say this is like mindless gaming, but it's good that people want to in some way keep their brain alive. because being able to like play a game and also listen to something that you're paying attention to, like a historical podcast, for example, or the news, then that implies a sort of higher level of brain activity that you didn't get just when you were kids, just zoning out playing Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe we'll raise a smarter generation that won't make the mistakes that we did.
That's a nice way. I hope that's true. I do worry that like it just feels like if you go anywhere in public, it feels like 90% of people are zombies on their phone. Oftentimes myself included. So that's not like a judgment call, but I do wonder if there's kind of a link between the shortening of our attention spans and this. But there's also just so much more shit. It's almost like, well, we have a finite amount of time on this planet, and I kind of want to cram as much entertainment as I can into that. So
hey, Eric's new game plussing. He's got the weapons crate in Leon's first bit. That's new game plus.
Lord.
This is if this is fourth run, it's new game plus.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Any Jay? Any final thoughts before Sumper Chumps?
Mine was like there are games where I get really excited by the prospect of it being a second screen game, and I will buy it because of that. Like, sometimes I like Slay the Spire 2 is that for me. I really, really like Slay the Spire 1, and what really excited me about 2 was one that would be more of the same, but also that I could do other things while playing it. It's even though it's a turn-based card game, I can just, there's no timer, there's no pressure. I can just stop playing and go do things, right? And or watch something at the same time. And it's really nice to anticipate that from games. Sometimes you buy a game and it's a little bit more intense than you first thought. And it's not a second screen game like you thought, but I think that's fine, right? I'm not playing Dark Souls or an FPS to second screen it. Sometimes it's fine to have those
like
intense moments of gameplay and those
game.
relaxed, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's an ebb and flow of like taste, right? And it's up to us as players.
Alrighty then. Well, before we go to super chats, just want to remind everyone to direct their gazes heavenwards, and you will see a funding goal bar over the top of our heads. We're already 30% of the way there, and it's not even like the 10th of the month. So we're well on track for that. If we get that fills out, Marty and crew will have to play Dokapon until either they finish or they die.
Yeah, no, and we're legally signing our lives over. So
that would be a good thing to fund if you either want to see Dokapon played or if you want to see Marty die.
Yeah, honestly, it's one or the other. So you're gonna have a good time with that. But yeah, looking forward to that.
All right then. So let's get started. On the fan funding, plenty this week, starting with Raven's Weekly Word of the Week, of course, week 41, Reverie. Now, surely we all know what a reverie is.
Yeah, a little celebration.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically a zone out, is what you're thinking of a revelry.
I am thinking of a revelry. I don't know what a reverie is.
Okay, a reverie basically is a zone out.
Okay, that makes sense because usually, there's a bakery in town called Reverie Bakery. I should have known that. I thought it was just like a bakery because people are excited, but apparently it's a bakery to zone out to.
Mm-hmm.
Revelry.
I got dunned. I got absolutely dunned.
Sinus the Hedgehog is $2 and says, book still is Kindle only. What the fuck are Amazon doing? Oh, well, thank you for bringing this up, Sinus. Yes, when I said last week that the print and ebook version was available on Amazon, that was my understanding. I understood it was going to be out that day, but it turns out it was just the ebook version and the paperback still needs some kind of approval process. I've told my agent to jump up their butt about it. Hopefully that'll get sorted out soon. They understood it was going to be that day as well. So, agents, they jump up people's butts very effectively. So
Agent Smith used to do that all the time in the Matrix films.
Exactly, yes. Mm-hmm. Very notable up butt jumper agent. So, yes, watch this space. I'll let you know.
Agent Smith, Agent Shit.
That's good.
Faz gives, thank you. Faz gives $1.99 and says, IMO, Souls-likes can be good zone-out games. I find I want to listen to a podcast while I'm throwing myself against a boss fight over and over again.
I was about to say, if it's a familiar area, a familiar encounter, if you're zoning out the first time you cross a threshold into a boss, what are you doing? You got to experience that full. You got to download that intro, figure out what's going on there. But once you start beating your head against the wall, zone out of your heart's content.
Absolutely. I'm doing like a deathless run of Dark Souls 3 or something. Like,
yeah,
that's good fun. Second screen.
Oh yeah.
Waiting for Seaman gives 100 arses and says, yawn, why so early? Reading stream. What is Pokemon Pokopia? Never heard of it, but sounds similar to what I'm playing, Pokemon Pokopia. Also, where is Mewgenics console port? I don't play on PC. Well, might I suggest the purchase of a little thing called a Steam Deck? I can certainly recommend them.
Love my Steam Dunkaroo.
You can cosplay as a PC gamer.
Yeah. Cosplay as I play one on TV. Also, yes, if you are not in the US, a reminder, we had our time zone change over the weekend. So
yes, good old daylight savings.
Yeah, I know. I think the international one might be some other point. I don't know how that works, but yeah.
I rolled my bedtime and waking up time back 10 minutes a day for like 6 days, and I still woke up feeling like shit on Sunday morning.
Sure. I just like that it's now light, like after we get done with work. Like we're gonna wrap up our evening meeting at the end of the day today, and it's still gonna be light out. That's really nice.
But what if you want to stargaze?
I mean, there's still gonna be darkness, right? There's still gonna be.
But you'd have to stay up. And I'm an early riser.
That's when naughties happen. There's booze and cigarettes and kissing at night.
The noise under the stars.
Anyway, Fudinator, member for 27 months in the Green Gang, says, unrelated, how's the channel since the views issue? That seems to have been something YouTube changed because a lot of people were complaining about it, because there was like a brief period when we were getting criminally low views, no one understood why, but that sort of stopped after a couple of weeks, and now we're sort of, I mean, it's still not up to like previous highs, but we're at a consistent level now, I'd say.
It's better than it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's with us, obviously we did we tried things like, we're going to unlist streams, after they're live, and we're going to, but the fact that we're happy with it now, and we're still we didn't have to change kind of like our content ethos. We're still making the things that we like to make that you guys hopefully enjoy watching.
You know what
is a good sign.
You know what makes it a lot easier?
What's that?
People joining the Patreon and giving us as much money as they want every month, and then we don't have to worry about chasing algorithms and stuff. We can just make the content we want to make and that you want to watch.
And remember, if you're at that $5 tier and above, you get free things all the time. Jesse had a new Clueless commentator over the weekend that Eric helped record footage of. I believe it was Sonic and Mario at the Sochi Olympics. Remember when Sochi had an Olympics? You can just have an Olympics right in Russia. It doesn't matter. Well, and we might have a new. Yes. I don't want to pull the trigger on it. We might have a new Yahtzee lore read for that tier.
Yes,
by the end of this week.
Sooner rather than later. Yes, on Friday perhaps.
The 13th.
Yes, on the 13th. Funnily enough, it's a Friday the 13th that the new lore video will be going out on. So let's hope it's not something that will give people nightmares.
Spooky.
Anyway. Sinus the Hedgehog comes back with $2, says personal faves, golf with your friends, and power wash sim. Oh yes, I did a lot of power washing. I got through all the free DLC for Power Wash 1.
That's a good point as well. Sometimes I'm a very social gamer. I like to play games with my friends, kind of like the complete opposite of Yahtzee in that way. And I will play second screen games just so I can have the mental space to socialize as well. And actually talk to my friends online and engage with what they're saying rather than just ignoring them while I'm getting my ass handed to me by Pontiff Sullivan or something.
Wait, so are you guys playing the same game, or are you all playing separate games?
We'll play multiplayer games, but sometimes we'll be playing different games. There's a little ritual I'll do when it's all subconscious, but when I'm playing an MMO and I'm usually talking to friends, instead of playing, I'll be in the hub city and I will run a course around the hub city.
Run laps almost?
I'll run laps of it. I remember when I was showing you guys my very early game prototype, and while we started talking, I started running around in a circle. You made a comment are you doing this, or is this like a video you're playing? Yeah. But I automatically go into that like running circles thing. Maybe I've got ADHD.
It's funny, that might be like the most distilled zone out, because you're accomplishing nothing. You're getting nothing from that, right? It's literally just like something kind of to do with your fingers and
timing jumps,
some sort of stimulus.
Running laps.
I like that.
Yeah.
Waiting for Seaman gives 100 asses. It says, people complain we'll leave the galaxy for good is not on paper yet. I complain Starstruck Vagabond is not for consoles yet. Do we still blame Nick, or do I need to call a different manager? Well, you might want to watch this space, Waiting for Seaman, because a console version of Starstruck Vagabond may well be in the cards.
Ooh. Commodore? We getting a Commodore 64 version? You love that Commodore. You talk about that all the time.
That was a home computer, not a console.
Oh, my mistake. I honestly don't know what a Commodore was. I don't think we have those here.
You could code on it in BASIC.
Codador.
Whoa.
Anyway, Dread Pirate Mittens gives $5. Says, I've been enjoying Pioneers of Pagonia lately. Sometimes I'll just zoom in and watch my villagers work. I do not know what that is, but I'm sure Eric's going to bring up footage of it any second now.
That was like a caveman Stardew, I want to say. No, this is not the game I was thinking of. There was another game that was kind of like a caveman Stardew.
There it is.
Well, there it is.
Like kind of like a... No, it's not a caveman Stardew. That's not the game I was thinking of.
Makes me think of, do you remember From Dust?
I do, the Eric Chahi game. The guy did Another World. Yeah.
I know. Whatever happened to that?
Ashes to Ashes, From Dust to Dust. Think about that.
Well, there you go. Sinos the Hedgehog gives $5. Says, best example, in my opinions, you're semi-emblematic on video game homes, a place you escape to and get away from reality. Mine's Camarocho from Yakuza 0 and all its fun activities. Yeah, it's nice to have a nice, reliable place where you can go to the fucking Don Quixote and listen to the music.
That's where I stayed.
It's everywhere in Beyond Good and Evil for me.
Shinjuku, right, like a block away from the Camarocho sign.
There you go.
In November, yeah, it was great.
Cyber Excalibur gives £5. Says, as much as I love C418, Sweden, and the rest of the Minecraft music, nothing beats sticking a podcast on and farming me some potatoes. Love you guys.
Thanks, Cyber. Yeah, I never think about that. That like, I did honestly wasn't thinking about that when we pitched the topic idea. That like we are second screen content.
Yes, we are.
For most people.
Oh my god!
I bet
a lot of folks in the chat were saying they're at work. They're just listening to us at work.
I bet someone's farming potatoes at this very moment.
In real life,
reality,
IRL?
or in Stardew Valley. Yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah.
But speaking as real life activities, Min Duel gives $2 and says, does doing dishes count as a first screen? I'll tell you what, this also came to mind because sometimes when I'm listening to podcasts, I'll put it on while I'm kneading my bread on Sundays. Because that's a fairly long, involved, repetitive process that it's nice to have something to zone out to.
When I need my bread, anything without putting a YouTube video on. I just can't.
When I need my bread, I usually just go to the grocery store and pick up a loaf.
Ha 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 ha.
That was a little need joke.
Need with a K.
Kneed.
Witticism gives $5. It says, I ain't playing a game right now, but I am working. I work from home on Mondays, which is why I'm often able to catch this live. Thanks for the audio.
Oh,
you're welcome.
Witticism.
I'm not flipping you off right now.
I hope you fail at whatever it is you're doing. Fail. Yeah, I bet you're trying to add something up. Well, 1, 7, 9, 14, 18, 27.
What if witticism's an air traffic controller and all of a sudden planes are just going
we just killed 500 people.
Oopsie. Well, people do compare me to Walter White sometimes.
Goddamn right I am.
Fusionator.
Okay, this is a really, really quick tangent I have to do. I watched the 2017 animated Resident Evil movie, Resident Evil Vendetta, last night. 2017 movie. There was a scene where Chris and Leon are in a helicopter with these two random red shirts. And they start talking about something, and Leon is like, do they ever shut up? And Chris is like, at least they're not talking about how much they love Breaking Bad. And then it cuts to the two characters, and they're like, you don't understand. The show is so ahead of its time. It's such a great show. And Chris is like, yeah, it is. And then they go to the next scene, and I'm like, this is the weirdest product placement I've ever seen in a thing. And they're in the middle of like a zombie outbreak in Manhattan. It's insane. And I'm assuming it's because like, Sony, whoever production company probably owns it. It was just
that seems like it was like a joke in the writer's room. They were like, what could we have them be talking about? And they're like, Breaking Bad. And then they just kept it in.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
The movies were Japanese, weren't they? The animated movies.
Japanese, yeah. Japanese forward. This was in, obviously I watched a dub, not obviously, but I watched a dub. But yeah, Japanese made. I don't know. Maybe they liked Walter White-kun.
Maybe they like Breaking Bad in Japan. I guess I think Breaking Bad would have universal appeal amongst frustrated middle-aged men.
Sure.
Well, it's probably. It was probably, and someone in chat who's probably seen the original can verify this. It's probably maybe a different piece of media in the Japanese version that wouldn't translate to the West. So they changed it to just a popular Western show, maybe?
I want to do that. I want to check that out. That's an interesting theory.
Watch this space. I mean, listen to this space. Second screen, this space.
You guys, your list of chores of watching this space is growing. So it's Yahtzee's book. It's Yahtzee's game on console. It's what happened in that movie in Japanese.
There you go. Fusionator, sorry I said your name like 5 minutes ago, but here it is again. Fusionator, $1.99. I'm working that sort of a game. Well, that was a big lead up to not much.
Life's a game.
Nice to hear it.
Think about it.
Kid Barchetta gives $2 and says, I used to second screen rhythm games on silent. That is fucking psychotic.
That's where I draw the line. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we ban them for that? Is that bannable?
Yeah. I used to get ban.
I used to get annoyed if the rattling of my guitar controller was slightly drowning out the music.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying
what rhythm game though? Was it like Osu or like
I was about to say if it's
Revolution?
Like if it's Oandan or Elite Beat Agents, like, and you kind of know the song, there's enough visual cues to where I guess you could do it.
But why would you handicap yourself? You need both the visual cue and the audio cue.
Agreed.
If you're like, the sound of this game's overwhelming, I'm going to turn it off. I can dig it, right? That's like an accessibility thing for you.
Yes.
If you're muting rhythm games, you know you're a sicko. And you're getting off by the fact that you're a sicko.
Kid Barchetta said it was a gotcha rhythm game I played all the time. That's like triple sicko right there. That's
even worse.
I love it. I love it.
Fucking fuck me. I hate this.
I love it.
Anyway, Sinos the Hedgehog gives $5. Says another is games with good, strong, fun gameplay loops that you never get sick of, like Haste, BPM, Starstruck Vagabond, Plug, or live services. See, I can't second screen BPM because it's so focused on its music, and the music is so good. Why would you want to second screen it?
Sure.
I'm just plugging my music guys because, of course, the people who made the music for BPM also made the soundtrack for Starstruck Vagabond, and they did a jolly good job. Thanks, guys.
Oh,
I can zone out and play Katamari quietly, but also I am that same thing where I'm like, the music is so good in those games. Why would I want to?
Yeah.
I'm still taking psychic damage from Kid Barchetta's message.
Yeah.
It's lingering. Super effective.
Okay, Sovereign gives €10 and says, okay, you got me. I'm playing Cultic as I listen to this. I find boomer shooters are good zone-out games as they have both simple primary loops and very little plot to distract from the second screen. I agree. Yeah. That's why I play Quake.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Lastimosas gives 125 rupees, I think, or possibly Filipino pesos. Shekels, that's the other one, yes.
No, Filipino pesos, you're right, sorry.
I was right, okay, I was right the first time, or right the second time. Currently in the lab training my muscle memory in doing Tekken BNB combos to Azucena. Not so fun fact, Azucena means different here in the Philippines.
Okay, got a couple things. BNB, that's a bed and breakfast, so I'm not sure what that's doing in this thing. I don't know who Azucena is, and I don't know what it means different in the Philippines because I don't know what it means here.
Is that one of the characters? Is Azucena one of the characters in Tekken?
Or is it like she looks like a real buff woman?
Is it music that you listen to? I don't know.
Azucena looks like a real buff woman. I thought she had 4 arms, but she just had a jacket with frillies on it. So 2 arms and she likes coffee, according to her bio. And she dislikes losing business.
Okay, is she a coffee shop owner?
That would make sense.
Connectors there.
That would make sense.
And of course she's Latino.
Yeah, there you go.
All Latino women run coffee shops, especially if they're from Nicaragua.
And they hate losing business. They hate it.
Chocolatey. Yeah. It's got chocolatey notes, the coffee.
Delicious.
Yeah. Silas the Hedgehog gives $2. Says second screen puzzle games can challenge your attention. Yeah, I find it hard to second screen stuff that you have to really think about for obvious reasons.
I was doing blueprints last year, but again, that would be one where I would need to lock in when it'd be like, oh, this is a new kind of
new
room,
thing,
or oh, this is like a new objective I had.
And the actual thinky,
full screen that bitch.
Yeah,
like the thinky puzzles in those are kind of thin on the ground. Like there's that one gallery where you have to interpret the paintings.
Sure. Yeah, it feels like the thinky ones come late, like much later into the game if you want to get to that deep layer, which I did not.
Yes, what's technically known as a thinky puzzle.
Think them up.
Because we have to clarify, because a lot of times when video games talk about puzzles, what they mean is go to this room with 2 buttons in, press one button, and then press the other button.
Yeah.
And then the door opens.
A simple task. Yeah.
Yeah. Nick Knoll, $5, says, I always start Second Wind streams as a second screen while I program, but then it ends up being the second screen. Could y'all be 30% less engaging so I can work?
We could do that.
Okay.
Mate.
I'm being less engaging now.
Did you guys know vanilla is actually a flavor? It's an exotic bean, so for us to use the word vanilla to mean basic isn't actually correct.
Stop, that's too engaging. That's an engaging fact.
That's actually interesting.
That's made me think. Anyway.
Shout out to vanilla.
Why is plain ice cream always vanilla? What would it taste like if there was no vanilla at all?
I agree.
Cream.
You know, I had a little coffee ice cream at home, and I poured some iced coffee over it. I was like, I'll make like a little drink. The iced coffee melted the good parts of the ice cream, and all that was left was ice. And I kind of never thought about the fact that like you can get to ice cream to a point where it's just ice. It was very weird.
Yeah.
Yes, and then it can join the Just Ice League.
My coffee machine can do like iced coffee, and I haven't been brave enough to do it yet. I'm excited.
Just like make normal coffee and then
put it in the fridge and
cold.
Put it over ice.
Yeah.
Not like cold brew, like fancy bullshit, fancy hipster bullshit.
You want to know how I make coffee? Like I used to have an espresso machine. You know what I do now? I have a cup with a filter. I put a coffee filter in like a little housing. I put coffee grounds in that, and I pour hot water over it. And that's literally all you do.
Skip the middleman. Just chew some grounds and pour boiling water in your mouth. You're such a man.
Yeah. I mean, I got a special Kalita thing that's like the thing that holds the coffee filter, but I think you could do it with like a miniature sieve.
Battle Ranger Kalita.
What? Yeah. Your teeth? They'll sieve it out.
Yeah, in fact, just stuff your mouth with coffee grounds, and then pour boiling water into your face, and then you're good.
I love it.
Kid Bargetto gives $2. Says Pokemon's real-time clock mechanics is so cursed. What's that then? What's he talking about? I don't play much Pokemon myself.
My YouTube completely conked out, but it's back. That was a YouTube problem.
Pokemon
real-time clock mechanics. Pokopia, like Animal Crossing, runs on a 24-hour clock. So when it's night in the game. When it's day in the game. If you start building something...
Can that fuck you up, though?
Yeah, I mean, if you start building something at like noon, they'll be like, it'll be ready tomorrow, which means you have to wait until a minute after midnight. But if you start building that thing at like 11:59, it'll be ready tomorrow. So you only have to wait 2 minutes. So a pro tip is start building your buildings late at night, and then as soon as you wake up in the morning, they'll be built, and you won't have wasted your Pokies.
While we've been on this pod, I've been attempting to find a physical copy of that game. They're all gone.
Apparently, it is so in demand. Amazon raised the price of the game $10, which I didn't even know you could do that.
What the fuck?
I didn't even know you could do that.
That's not how products work.
No, that's fucking. That's real fucking masks off behavior, isn't it?
Nintendo needs to come for them next. They're coming for the U.S. government. Now they need to come for them.
Yeah, like masks off seems to be the pattern these days. But that is shameless.
Yeah.
Anyway, Garfield gives $5. Says my zone out game is Recettear or Recettear, however you say that. I don't know if it's a cozy game, but it's the only one that grabbed me. I just can't get into Stardew Valley, sadly. Well, have you considered
store?
That's the storm. That's the item shop management thing before Moonlighter was a thing.
Yeah, I didn't know this was a thing until a little while ago, and I bought it on Steam. I haven't played it yet, but it seems fun.
Yeah, surprisingly old. Like everyone came back to it after like the store management became a sort of semi-popular indie genre.
Yeah, released, and it's PC only, which this feels like a game that would be.
I know
the Japanese game feels like it would be on. Yeah, exactly.
It feels so much like a sort of Japanese console game, but it is like a Japanese PC only game. I guess the developers didn't really have the contacts to get console ports.
Yeah, well, I mean that's kind of where Cozy feels like it was born on PC, right? So.
I guess
ahead of the time.
Well, Animal Crossing, the first one on GameCube, that was early on. Simon's Hedgehog is $2. Says, you know what's activities best for second screen? Porn.
Nography. They're talking about nography.
I wouldn't say so. I mean, you have to look at it while you're jerking off, surely.
Feels like something you want to focus. I feel like if you just have porn like leisurely on in the background, you might actually have like a.
Eric has thoughtfully
Eric,
just
is this
he's gone to the Switch store and he's just literally searched for the word hentai.
No, this is the PlayStation store.
That's
not
the PlayStation store.
Is it? Oh, it's hard to tell these days. But
you
yeah,
can find
there's
hentai
plenty.
Wherever you want.
You
plenty
can tell
to choose
it's
from.
got a grey background rather than a bright red one.
Yes, thank you. Murray the Demonic Skull, Monkey Island 3 reference, gives $2 and says, I second screen second wind pods while working. Yeah, you're like the third guy to tell us that. Join
Murray,
the queue.
You're the only one with the Monkey Island.
I'm surprised so many of you have jobs.
Also, before someone will actually use Jay, you can turn at a console level. You could turn Switch to dark mode. You know that, right?
Can you? Can you really?
Yeah, and then everything will be dark.
I welcome the actuallys. Have you seen Design Delve's comments?
All I want in life is to not be corrected. It's like if I'm wrong, honestly,
you're in the wrong.
I've come to terms. I don't
line of
care
work.
anymore.
Yeah, anyway, Beast Smelly 11 gives $5. Says management games like City Skylines or Timberborn are good zone out games, winding up your city and watching it go in the background like a diorama. I can never get into that sort of thing because I tend to have very, very focused in my attention. I'm very bad at doing like something that requires lots of things to be working at the same time.
That's why I don't really fuck with RTS games.
Same issue.
Much to the chagrin of a large portion of our audience who wants us to cover.
Well, a friend of mine, like my best friend, absolutely loves the genre, and for years he's been trying to get me into it. And like a couple weekends ago, we spent an entire day playing a bunch of them because he's trying to find the one that will hook me. And I found out that there are ones that require you to manage workers, like back at your base, the workers are doing things and stuff like that. I just don't really gel with it because I want to be exploring and doing things with my armies and stuff like that, but having to constantly go back and like make sure they're all micromanage all those dudes, it's unattractive to me. But hey,
here's a controversial statement: could the Altars count as a real-time strategy game?
It feels like it has enough of that element. It has just enough of the element to where I liked it without feeling overwhelming to me. Like it does feel kind of like baby's first strategy.
I guess it's more like a real-time management game.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
You do, because you do have to manage a
either.
handful,
you have to give everyone jobs. You have to make sure you got like some cooldowns set up. But it's mainly about the exploring, I think. At least for the first half of each section is mainly exploration based, and then after that it's like optimizing your throughput.
Sure.
Your throughput. Tsunami Dusha gives $20 and says nothing. Just throwing that out like it ain't no thing.
Do you reckon Tsunami Dusha second screens or is a primary screen?
We'll never know, for he never speaks.
Always douching.
Sometimes I catch Tsunami Dusha just sending a real message, and it's like seeing a cryptid.
You know, if they really figure out how to do like ARG like sunglasses, second screening is going to be like the universal activity then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's going to be
pros.
Everyone's going to be sort of. It's going to seem like they're staring vacantly into the middle distance as they watch, I don't know, soap operas.
We do that
corner
now.
Of their vision. Well, fair enough.
Do that now. You just do your head down, looking at your cosplay.
That's why Netflix has to reiterate every plot point several times via the dialogue.
Yeah. Hawkeye Goff gives 50 Swedish krona and says, currently playing WoW while listening to this. I also like playing games like Dark Tide, Vermintide, and Space Marine 2 while listening to podcasts. Well, I'm seeing a connection there.
The Warhammers, am I right?
Yes. Oh, games with war in the title.
Also, shout out to
as in World of Warcraft.
Oh, yeah.
Simon the Hedgehog gives $2. There's movie theaters or second screens if you have a phone. Do not do that. Do not use your phone in movie theaters, you rude bastard. If you pull out
your phone in a movie theater, I think you should be able to get punched in the gut. Right? I kid you.
Yes.
Shot. Yes. I think they should have snipers perched near the projectors.
Yes. Yeah. They should have someone dressed like the Joker walk in and start gunning you down and everyone next to you.
There you go. Well, why everyone next to you? What did they do?
They didn't punch you in the face for turning your phone on.
Baked in the glow.
Gotcha.
Yes. Vactor, member for 26 months in the Green Gang, says, need to add a mercenaries mode to RE9 so I can second screen. Yeah, what the fuck happened to like extra gameplay modes? Resident Evil 2 had them. Resident Evil 2 make
says we're getting DLC and part of it's gonna be mercenaries mode. Like Leon's kit in that game feels like so built for like an action time attack mercenary.
Feels like a different game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, piss off, Resident Evil with DLC. You threw it in with the RE. You threw it in with the RE2 make and the RE4 make.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because the original RE4 came with mercenaries as standard, but still.
That's true.
Laboratory Maniac gives $5. It says, listening to the pod at work, phone is face down on the desk, but I did pick it up and watch the major story beat of Eric shaking the camera.
That was huge. That was probably if we're gonna watch this on YouTube, and if you go through the bar, you're gonna see one spike.
That's gonna be the peak of the watch.
That's where people
100%.
There you go.
Well done, Eric.
John Brooks gives £20. It says, zone out with a podcast, audiobook, or second screen with me on a good simulator. Farm sim, U-boat, hard space, shipbreaker, or most Bethesda RPGs once the mechanics are learned. Doke or die.
Doke or die.
Doke or die.
Yeah, we've jumped like 5% in the course of this podcast.
Incredible.
Move that needle, fuckers.
Yeah, the people just want to see Marty die. Because he
better audio quality
too
on
much.
The pods. Yeah. Better audio quality on the pods for sure.
There you go. Thrill Gamesh gives $5. It says, hey, party persons.
Hi, Thrill Gamesh.
Hello.
I like your name.
Hello. Hello, Thrill Gamesh. Thank you for the money.
Yeah. Me, Yahtzee and Marty are the kings of being fun at parties. You can tell because we've got our chests out.
Because we got a chest out?
Yeah.
I think I'm a delight at parties, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Relaxed, but like approachable,
The thing with me at parties is that I have to be drunk and you have to like trigger my opinions. Like you have to talk about you have to say,
trigger
you know
my
what?
opinions.
You have to say, you know what's a good game? Fucking Black Ops 7. That'll make me fun at parties.
You know what's overrated?
To be fun at parties, you have to be drunk and people have to piss you off.
Yes. Well, you have to get me talking. I'm very fun to listen to when I'm drunk. And
is Eric just found a picture of you at a party?
Getting drunk, no less. Yes.
Yeah.
I was in the Old Manor Bar.
I thought you were a delight at Omar's wedding.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I was the one guy who didn't.
Late.
Even though I blame the fucking airline, but also I was the one guy who refused to go dance on the dance floor.
You did.
Mm-hmm.
It was just me and Jess Hoops, just sitting there watching you bastards.
Dude, you missed the breakdancing child. It was the
I think about that breakdancing child every so often. I'm like, I hope he's doing all right.
It was a legendary moment.
Wasn't even invited to the wedding either. Just a child who walked in off the streets of Baltimore.
Wasn't even a child. It was a cryptid. It was Tsunami Dusha.
Anyway. The Man in Black gives $10 and says, my wife will sometimes play Stardew on her laptop while watching Grey's Anatomy on her TV while scrolling TikTok on her phone. 3 screens, absolute madness.
Sure. We always talk about second screening. Do any of us third screen? Is that legal?
If you're okay, I'm gonna get. It's known that women are commonly better at multitasking. I could never triple screen. I would die. Like it would kill me. I can barely.
Does having a conversation count as triple screening? Because I can watch a football game, play a game on my Switch, and talk to someone in the room.
If it's something that I'm not concentrate, like you don't need to concentrate on for sure.
Yeah, I don't do any of them well. I do all 3 of them poorly.
I've been known to have something on the TV, like Bake Off, like some work going on my laptop, and I'm just sort of noodling about with my smartphone at the same time.
I kind of want to, way down the road, after everyone forgets this sentence, I want to prepare a podcast where the 3 of us are going to do a podcast. We choose the topic, but we say we're also going to be playing a game on a separate screen the entire time without acknowledging it. Ooh. And see if anyone, like an audio listener especially, can actually figure out
I've done that.
Been paying full attention. I've done that. I mean,
you
guys do that in meetings all the time.
Yeah, you've been in meetings doing that. I'm frequently in meetings doing that. I probably will be doing that this afternoon.
Let's do it. When people forget, we'll do it.
Yeah. Vactor gives $2 and says, lol, Eric started without the Merc mode. MVP.
Eric's just the MVP. Well, there's no Merc mode. He can't Merc.
Yeah.
He has no mode, but he must Merc.
Snowbound Wanderer gives $5. It says, wandering in Oblivion was my zone out method when I was younger. Also, why does Ludo get billing on the screen but not Toffee? He should go on strike. Well, Jay insists upon it, but also, Toffee's having his nap.
He's not even there. Where's Toffee?
Yeah.
I don't insist upon it.
He's literally just off screen. Hang on.
Oh, I think they mean the name tags.
Yeah, the name
You're
tags.
Jay and Ludo, and Yahtzee's just Yahtzee. Oh, Yahtzee. Well, it's changed.
Well, that's because my tag on Twitter and other socials used to be Design Delve, but then Nick messaged me and he was like, "Jay, can you change your fucking tag? Because every time I tag Design Delve, it says Design Delve made Design Delve, and it makes me feel stupid." So he was like, "Change it to something else." So I changed it to Jay and Ludo, but now I don't care and it's back to Design Delve. So
all right then.
I don't insist on it. Just put Jermaine. I don't give a shit. Sorry, Ludo. I love you.
I like that mine says Marty and the Closet Ghost.
I'm going to get Ludo. I feel bad now. Come here.
Maybe Toffee's already on strike. Maybe he's on, refusing to work. That's why he's fast asleep.
Toffee believes in the general strike.
Yeah.
It looks like you farted, Jay, and you're trying to, whiff the fart up towards you.
I farted a dog.
You're, wafting
Oh, God. Raven gives $5 and says, I used to play Dynasty Warriors 3 and 4 split screen while watching TV, just grinding my characters up by collecting health and Muso power-ups.
Yeah, Muso games are good for that. Those are just complete zone out hack and slashies.
Toffee Ludo still needs a trim, by the way.
She's getting one tomorrow.
She's staring out with startled eyes through a thick haze of fluff.
I don't know what happened. I cut some of the fur on her face so she could see better before she got a haircut, and she now has a tiny face. I'll try and show her off. She's got a tiny little face.
Just a little face.
It doesn't look right. No.
I know, that's why she's getting a haircut.
She looks like a teddy bear.
Yeah.
Very cute.
Nidorom gives $50. Wow, he really wants to see you die. Gives after 17 years, I tried WoW again and felt disconnected / disappointed from what it's become, but WoW Classic has been a joy to rediscover and is now my go-to zone-out game. Have any other games captured that same sense of discovery WoW's Flight Paths had?
WoW's Flight Paths is when you take a airship or something from one place to another,
a griffin or something.
Yeah, it used to be when you fast traveled from zone to zone, you had to ride on the back of a beast, so you'd get a big old view of the scene, the world you're about to go into, before you actually stopped and got off.
And obviously, everything below you on is a place based, right?
And that was good. Yeah. That was good design. I always appreciated it, but then they added proper fast travel in and fucked it all up.
Yeah, I mean, that's remember that's how certain travel in Red Dead 2 was. You can chart a course and then just kind of watch, but you had to watch your horse trot all the way to the next city. Yeah,
it's nice.
I feel like doing it, being up high and seeing future adventures down below is a fun mechanic. I like that.
Vantage.
Yeah.
There was a game recently that I felt kind of fucked things up by letting you fast travel instead of experience the journey.
I always thought fast travel in the Spider-Man games felt weird because I was like, I don't want to fast travel.
Yeah, why would I enjoy the traversal?
Yeah,
especially considering it was so fast.
Yeah, travel.
No, I've forgotten. Sorry. Where was I?
Witticism.
Yes, witticism comes back. Sorry, still stalling. Witticism comes back with $5 and says, "Holy shit, I was doing math while you said that." Me, trying to throw off people doing math earlier.
Oh, incredible.
Also, I'm a legal aid attorney trying to keep people housed. Oh, well, that does sound important. I better not distract you.
You should probably focus.
Rest in peace, that family of 5.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's a great service to our communities. Thank you, witticism.
Hell yeah.
Boo Ray gives $2 and says, Azucena has 4 arms. Doesn't she just?
That's a good goof. It's a little bit late, but that's a good goof.
There you go. Mr. Sadface gives $2 and says, Tropico 5 is my current podcast game. Play it. I won't.
You guys ever fucked with those games?
Never played it. No. I've never fucked with a Tropico game.
You're like a despot.
No, I've played Evil Genius, but it's not the same at all, apparently. Anyway, Kite M gives 10,000 CLPs, whatever the fuck they are.
Chilean pesos.
Okay, well, they can't be worth that much because that only warranted an orange super chat.
They are $10.
Chile.
US dollars.
Jay, he's talking about Chile.
Oh, I was like, Chile? Is that off the coast of
Chile?
Ireland?
A shillelagh is a kind of Irish walking stick.
That's right. There's shillelagh match. Never mind.
Commonly
I was going to talk about
people,
wrestling, but it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Reciteer is a single dev game without a publisher. It was sold Doujin style on CDs in conventions and such. Wow, old school, nice.
That's neat.
2 EN guys found it, liked it, and localized it. This indirectly forever transformed the JP indie dev scene.
That's a fun fact.
I know, and
That's
actually, it
really
was
fun
like
fact.
I think it was Cave Story was like the game that basically formed the foundation for the indie dev scene generally, and that was made by a Japanese solo dev as well.
Which is funny because you don't. It always surprises me when a new indie game pops up on my radar and it's Japanese, just because it doesn't feel like they're as prominent as Western indie games. Like Ooh and Electhead, that puzzle game Ooh with 3 O's. That's a solo Japanese dev.
But
it might be because the Japanese AAA industry is looking after their developers, so they're not quitting to splinter off and make indie games.
I know.
Laws.
It's funny how even the low-scale indie Japanese games can still have like professional-style anime art. They've literally got manga artists leaking out of their armpits over there. They're everywhere.
Super talented.
I hate the idea of leaking out of your armpit. I don't like the sound of that.
You do it every day. It's called sweating.
Oh no, I'm a dry guy.
Oh. Dry bones.
Like Prince Andrew.
Oh,
Prince Andrew doesn't sweat, haven't you heard?
Yeah. I can't be a pedo.
That's the only fun fact about him, so it's fine.
Of all the excuses you could have given to try to like disprove the story that he was a sweaty nonce, that was what he came up with. I actually don't sweat. The nonce part I'm not disputing, but I don't sweat.
Nothing worse than being caught being a sweaty nonce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We live in a nightmare.
And then Thrill Gamesh gives $2 and says pet tax. All right, I will rotate my camera again just for you. There he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there he is, right on the edge.
There he is. He's playing the guitar. Ding, 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 ding.
Oh no, that's I like the idea of KK Slider in Deliverance though.
Yeah.
Like KK Slider as the banjo kid in Deliverance.
Yeah.
Squeal like a piggy.
I know, it's even funnier if you imagine an actual pig person in Animal Crossing being told to squeal like a pig while he's anally raped.
That's gonna be my next until the end. That was gonna I said that's gonna be my next Patreon video, and then you brought up that ending, and I'm like, okay, I probably won't do that part.
What?
Maybe not.
That was you were referencing a scene in which anal rape overtly takes place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, there's
a little thing in comedy called subtlety. Yeah, so you could just subtlety goes a long way.
Well, we know Yachts is famous for having little of that.
Yes. Oh yes, so that famously very subtle scene in Deliverance, the subtle squeal like a piggy scene in Deliverance.
It's a metaphor.
Well, anyway,
Yahtzee, I'm gonna have to teach you about comedy someday.
Oh yeah, I will relish that meeting.
It's going to be mostly mouth and throat noises, so it's not going to be very helpful.
Weird. But perhaps apt. Anyway. Oh, sorry, I just got distracted by that image from Deliverance Eric brought up. But anyway. That's it for the Super Chats, and that's it for the Windbreakers podcast. Well, yeah, we got through it. Thank you very much for listening and for all your Super Chats. I'm sure you're all keen for that Doke or Die stream.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, it can still happen if you just donate on any stream, because we've got tons of streams, as always. And as well as our premium videos, like my fully Ramblematic video this week, which is finally going to be my Resident Evil 9 review. Finally get it out now. Everyone's done with theirs. And if you're interested in Resident Evil 9, we're also going to be spoiler casting it in next week's Windbreaker podcast.
Next Monday.
So go in a big old deep down discussion of all the stuff that goes on in that.
Yeah.
I've also got my weekly stream, Yahtzee Tries, where I play indie games on Wednesday afternoon. On Thursday, I have a semi-Ramblematic dropping, which, what was that one about? Well, Mewgenics is referenced in it. I remember that part.
Okay.
Sure.
There'll be some Mewgenics?
It's something to do with Mewgenics.
I legitimately cannot remember.
Roguelites.
Well, we get them done. We get them done so ahead of time these days because
if
Matt, the editor,
fun, you can stop.
Oh, there we go. Matt insists on getting them done fairly early. So yeah, it's on the subject of if you're not having fun, you can stop. A bit of advice I think we could all need every now and again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's my stuff. What else we got?
Okay.
Yeah, there was Devheads last week, which was really fun. We got to play Marathon, get to see our thoughts on that. Similar to Yahtzee for next Monday. My Resi 9 video is going to be out next Monday as well. So we're going to have a big Resi 9 day. It's going to be nice. And do you know what? The next one might be what's it called? Pocket Monster Mania?
Pokemon Pokopia. Pocket Utopia.
Pocket Utopia. It's probably going to be that because everyone's raving and I'm ready to dive in. So I'm going to be working on that. And also next month, I believe for Patreon is going to be my Patreon exclusive video. I have some inklings on that and it's going to be a weird one. So look forward to that. Get on the Patreon if you haven't. Come on.
You could take the Animal
Pocket
Crossing
Utopia.
Deliverance one if you want.
Pocket Utopia sounds like a street name for a drug.
Pocket Monster, Pocket Utopia. Pocket Utopia does sound like a real shitty cyber drug.
Yeah.
And then, for the rest of it, stacked week this week. We got Hot Monday Energy later today, the Rewind tomorrow, all the normal streams for the rest of the week, and a big week for videos as well. Casey had a great video essay that went up this morning looking at the new Scott Pilgrim game, Scott Pilgrim X, and how the beat-em-up genre is kind of in a state of arrested development and what can be done about that.
I've often thought that.
Tomorrow.
There are so few new beat-em-up games, aren't there? There's always like legacy sequels these days. Mortal Kombat 19, Tekken 12.
That's it. And they're all, and so many are just like, here's another arcade one. So, and he posits why Sifu might be the future of that genre. So, interesting vid. Go check that out. We'll have a backdrop tomorrow. And then a couple of video essays in the works from Eric and I, including another Resi one. We got, I'm going to have a Pokopia video down the pipeline as well. So all sorts of fun stuff. Yes.
All right. Well, before we go, don't forget to like the video. It takes a second. You can do that for us, if nothing else, you stingy
Come
git.
on.
And also consider subscribing if you enjoyed, and then you'll always know when new wonderful content that you love, such as this, will be out. And hey, if you've gotten that far in your mental process, perhaps we could go a step further and join the Patreon at patreon.com/secondwind group to help us keep going and producing the stuff you love. We really do almost entirely depend on a Patreon and the odd, sponsor. But honestly, if we had to pick one, we'd prefer to only to get income from Patreon because we love you all so very much.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Anyway, that'll be it from us. Cheerio.
Bye.